Today I'm going to be talking about high fiber wheat flour and why it's important in this new innovation. Wheat has been cultivated for over 10,000 years, and we've been milling wheat for centuries. Flour is the staple of food around the world. However, wheat flour consumption is declining, and that's due to a number of factors. Primarily that consumers believe that wheat flour is not very good for them. In a lot of cases, wheat flour has been refined, put into non-nutrient dense recipes and formulations, and that's really driven the decrease of demand. But there are opportunities for us to feed the world through unique varieties of wheat that can deliver unique nutritional benefits. There is a rising demand for fiber. We know that most consumers are not getting enough fiber. We know that they are actively trying to consume more fiber. And we know that they believe in the benefits of fiber. In the United States, only 5% of the population is consuming enough fiber on a daily basis. In Canada, it's less than 10%. And in Mexico, consumers are only getting half the fiber requirements in a day that they need. Protein has really been king. Everyone understands the benefits of protein. As we all think about protein, we think about what it means to consumers. It defines strength, power, fitness. When you think about fiber, you don't think of really great things and experiences. However, dietary fiber is really at the center of various trends that are driving new product development today. Digestive wellness, keto-friendly and low net carb, which is a trend that we're seeing all across North America, that not only uses fiber concentrates, but also proteins to derive lower net carbs. You have fiber enhancement. Most times, consumers are directively going to whole grains to receive fiber. Fiber, though, also in the form of high fiber flour, allows for clean label. It is simply wheat flour. The idea of using high fiber wheat flour in sweet products like cookies to make them a little bit better for you in permissible indulgence. And then because of the type of fiber that high fiber flour is, you also have immunity benefits. So there are a number of types of fiber. You've got intrinsic and intact fiber sources. You have synthetic fiber sources, but the fiber source that we're talking about today is an insoluble yet fermentable fiber source. This fermentable fiber, in the form of resistant starch, resists digestion, therefore promotes digestive and gut health. High fiber wheat flour delivers 10 times the fiber content of traditional wheat flour. So a traditional refined wheat flour is about 3% total dietary fiber, and we're able to extract up to 30 or even greater percent total dietary fiber in a refined flour. Because of the nature of the resistant starch, it is a natural prebiotic. It's a naturally occurring resistant starch fiber that nourishes gut health and immunity health. The other benefit to a high fiber flour is the clean label benefit. It's a whole food. It's an intrinsic and intact fiber source that labels simply as wheat flour. And then most importantly, consumers won't know the difference. The sensory and functionality, it's a functional wheat flour. Therefore, you can use it in a number of applications, which we will talk about here shortly, and be able to deliver the same great taste and texture as a standard wheat flour product. So what's different? This is an illustration to essentially show the differences, yet the similarities of high amylose wheat. What is different is essentially just simply the inverse ratio of highly digestible amylopectin to less digestible amylose. Those are just inversed in high amylose wheat. Therefore, the majority of the endosperm is resistant starch, giving you 30+% fiber. Below you can see the fiber breakdown between total dietary fiber, soluble, but it is mostly insoluble fermentable fiber. And due to the unique characteristics of these high amylose varieties and the resistant starch content, there's so many health benefits that can be derived. We all know that fiber is good for us, but why? It can support healthy blood sugar levels, reduce glycemic response to foods, which is incredibly important considering we have an epidemic with diabetes. Supporting digestive wellness, the prebiotic effects of resistant starch, bowel regularity, which most consumers identify with high fiber foods, but also supporting immune health. There is a number of research that's ongoing to understand the true benefits of high fiber wheat flour, but one in particular that everyone's really excited about right now is supporting immune health. So what is resistant starch? It's a fiber that will pass through the small intestine undigested and travel to the large intestine where it is fermented by a resident bacteria. It does a number of things. It reduces the amount of digestible carbohydrate in our small intestine, which then lowers glycemic response. And then the fermentation by resident bacteria produces short-chain fatty acids like butyrate. And then while starch is normally digested via alpha amylase enzymes, resistant starch fiber is not. There's a bunch of ways to characterize resistant starch, type 1 through type 4. In high fiber flour, we are characterizing type 2 and type 3. As I mentioned earlier, there are so many health benefits to extract from fiber and high fiber in general. We know that there's more to learn, and we're excited about the possibilities of even further differentiation and distinct health benefits. So we are committed to ongoing nutrition research with lots of external partners, looking more closely at lowering glycemic response, delivering prebiotic effects, and improving ways to measure gut health. As I mentioned earlier, high fiber flour can be used in any wheat flour formulation. This is an eye chart and a lot to read, but what you need to take away from this is that you can utilize high fiber flour across a number of applications and derive some pretty substantial benefits. This is an illustration of various product applications at a 50% inclusion rate. And when I talk about 50% inclusion rate, I mean a 50% replacement of wheat flour. At a 50% replacement of wheat flour, we are able to lower calories, extend fiber and enhance with fiber, and then lower net carbs as a result. So in addition to the nutritional benefits of Healthsense, I'm very excited about the functional benefits of high fiber flour. While it performs well, and while it's able to derive benefits functionality-wise, very similar to standard wheat flour, there are some unique characteristics that we're continuing to explore. Those unique characteristics are very likely due to the starch profile of this ingredient. The three functional benefits we're really excited about is dough-making characteristics. When you're producing doughs and you're looking for extensibility, Healthsense high fiber wheat flour provides that level of extensibility. There are opportunities to reduce or remove other food additives like enzymes and displace that with a more whole food, intrinsic, and intact fiber source to derive some of those functional benefits. We have finished product characteristics. We've seen, and I will show you here in a moment, that we are able to extend shelf life through the utilization of this ingredient. And then sensory and visual characteristics. As I mentioned, there's no difference in color or flavor or really overall eating quality compared to traditional wheat-based products. In some cases, and in the pasta that you see illustrated here, we actually have benefits to incorporating high-fiber wheat flour in a noodle, for example, where we won't have that same starchiness or stickiness on the surface of the noodle that allows for longer hold times, allows better uses in cold pasta salads, and allows better use in food service settings where pasta may be sitting out for long periods of time. The other example and illustration here is the utilization of high-fiber flour in keto low-net carb products. As many of you know, in many cases, keto and low-net carb can't use wheat flour because of the added carbohydrates, but because of the fact that high-fiber wheat flour is not only a functional flour, but also delivers those fiber benefits, we're actually able to make low-net carb, keto-friendly products with the addition of other food additives like proteins or other fiber additives to really drive down the low-net carbs to where you might want them. But I think this is a great illustration of showing a dough made with high-fiber flour versus a dough made without it. It's not easy to formulate low-carb, keto-friendly products. People have run away from wheat flour, and it's so important that they understand that there are products in the marketplace that can bring really, really powerful benefits to them. So many brands that are powered by high-fiber flour are achieving a lot of media attention. Goodles, for example, we have a partnership with a company, Sun Noodle and Honey Grow. Enlightened Eating is a low-net carb indulgent snack. We have Catelli here as well, and Noodles & Company, which is a QSR company in the United States that just launched a product called Linguini. It is most important to try this to believe this. So as I mentioned, it does seem too good to be true. FX Morales has done a fantastic job developing a number of prototypes that illustrate the benefits of high-fiber flour.